The hum of the terminal was a blur of rolling luggage, muffled announcements, and the subtle tension of travelers jostling through luxury. 17-year-old Nia Jordan stood with a quiet calm at gate A5, a leather backpack slung over one shoulder and a first-class boarding pass clutched in one hand. Her posture, straight and intentional, reflected the lessons instilled by her parents, not just how to move through the world, but how to claim space within it. The boarding attendant barely blinked when scanning her pass. "Welcome aboard, Miss Jordan. You're in seat 1A, first class. Straight ahead." Nia offered a courteous smile, murmured her thanks, and stepped onto the Skylift Airways jet bridge. Her navy blazer was part of her private school uniform, designed by her mother, and the gold embossed trim on her boarding pass shimmered under the LED lights. She didn't miss the brief flicker of surprise in the attendant's eyes. She was used to it. In spaces like these, spaces of privilege, people always seemed surprised when a young black girl entered without apology. The first-class cabin smelled of leather, cedar polish, and perfume that cost more than a week's salary. Nia slid her carry-on into the overhead bin and sat down in the spacious leather seat. It hugged her like a quiet validation. She ran her fingers across the embossed safety card in front of her, feeling the weight of the moment. She was alone, young, black, and she was here because she belonged. She had barely settled when a sharp voice cut through the quiet. "Excuse me." The tone wasn't curious, it was confrontational. Nia turned to see a woman in her 50s, dressed in cream cashmere, platinum hair swept into a chignon, so tight it looked painful. Her expression was stiff, poised like someone used to getting her way with a glance. "I think you're in the wrong seat, sweetheart. This is 1A. I always sit here," the woman said, loud enough to make sure the words echoed. Nia stayed composed, held up her pass. "My seat is 1A. It's printed right here, ma'am." The woman's lip curled slightly. "Maybe there was a mistake. Or maybe you're meant to be in the back." They sometimes upgrade people without understanding the, usual arrangements. Her gaze made it clear, usual arrangements meant people who looked like Nia didn't belong here. Passengers turned to watch. Some looked away quickly. Others leaned in to listen. The flight attendant, a woman named Linda with a practiced smile and tidy uniform, approached. "Is there a problem?" "Yes," the older woman snapped. "There's a child in my seat." Linda checked her tablet, scrolled, then straightened slightly. "Mrs. Chandler," she said, "the manifest shows seat 1A is assigned to Miss Jordan." The woman, Madeline Chandler, smirked. How quaint. Her daddy must have splurged to make her feel like a princess for a day. Nia said nothing. She kept her hands folded, her expression neutral, even as her pulse quickened. Her father had taught her that dignity in the face of disrespect was not weakness, it was power. Linda, visibly tense, gestured. "Mrs. Chandler, your seat is 2A. Still first class. You'll have all the same services." Madeline Chandler huffed, picked up her designer tote, and moved with dramatic slowness. As she passed Nia, she leaned in and whispered, "Enjoy it while you can. Some of us don't need to buy our way into places." Nia opened her book and let the words absorb her. She'd read the same page 3 times but wasn't really reading. Her silence wasn't submission, it was survival. By now, the cabin had gone quiet. No one intervened. No one defended her. The air felt tight with tension, like the moment before a storm. Linda returned a few minutes later, crouched beside Nia's seat, and smiled in a way that didn't reach her eyes. "Sweetheart, there's a lovely window seat in row 4. We'd like to offer it to you, extra space, nice view. And look, here's a little gift bag." The bag was white with silver ribbon. Inside, it held a branded pillow, snacks, a company pin. It sparkled like bait. Nia glanced at it, then at Linda. "Will my seat assignment change in the system if I move?" Linda blinked. "Not officially, but Mrs. Chandler is a loyal customer. She's flown with us for years. Sometimes we try to keep our regulars happy." "I'm comfortable here," Nia said softly but firmly. Linda's smile faltered. "Now listen," she began, voice dropping. "There are people on this flight who matter, a lot. It's better to keep them happy. Let's not make this bigger than it needs to be. Is it against policy for me to sit in my assigned seat?" Nia asked, not blinking. Linda straightened. "Of course not. Then I'll stay." Madeline Chandler laughed from her seat. Entitled and stubborn. What a combo. The other passengers looked away. The couple across the aisle shifted in their seats but said nothing. No one challenged Madeline. Nia's presence was a quiet test, and most had already failed it. A few minutes later, Linda returned again. "We're asking you to temporarily relocate for a priority review." "Am I being removed from my seat?" Nia asked. "It's temporary. just so we can double-check some things. Nia stood. Her movements were steady, graceful. She walked with her boarding pass in hand, following the flight attendant to the rear of the first-class cabin. As she passed Madeline Chandler, the woman whispered, "Humility goes a long way, especially for people like you." Nia didn't stop, didn't look back. In the galley, the crew huddled over tablets and manifests. Her information matched. Her assignment was valid. But her name, Jordan, didn't appear in the visible VIP registry. "She's not listed," Linda said. "But that pass scan clean. Could be an internal override," another muttered. "We'll sort it." Nia sat in a corner seat near the galley, technically still first class, but separated. Symbolically demoted. She didn't cry, didn't fidget. Her eyes stared out the window, expression calm, posture straight. Her silence wasn't passive. It was precision. In the cockpit, Captain Richard Hayes reviewed a message that had just arrived via priority channel. His eyes scanned the name printed in all caps. Jordan. Ava Jordan. Co-founder. The captain turned toward his comms. "Passenger Nia Jordan, please report to the cockpit." Gasps echoed through the cabin. Nia stood, walked forward. This time, no one stopped her. No one dared. Inside, Captain Hayes greeted her. She handed over a sleek leather card from her jacket. He turned it over. The words engraved read, "Ava Jordan, Skylift co-founder. Executive beneficiary clearance. Nia Jordan." The captain looked up. "Your mother." Nia nodded. He lifted the intercom. "This is the captain. Effective immediately, passenger Nia Jordan is to return to her original seat, 1A. She is to receive full executive priority. No further interruptions will be tolerated." When Nia stepped back into the cabin, everything changed. She didn't gloat, didn't speak. She simply walked past every watching eye and took her seat with the same quiet grace she had shown all along. But now the silence wasn't powerlessness, it was awe. Linda approached slowly, face pale. "Miss Jordan, we weren't aware of your connection. If we had known..." Nia held up her hand. "I don't need apologies. I need change." Madeline Chandler muttered something under her breath about nepotism. The captain reappeared. "Let's be very clear. Miss Jordan holds a legal stake in this airline. Her authority is not symbolic. It is documented. And her treatment today was not only unacceptable, but it has also triggered an immediate review." By the end of the flight, Linda had been quietly removed from duty. The head flight supervisor faced disciplinary action, and Madeline Chandler received a permanent no-fly designation. None of this was Nia's doing. She hadn't raised her voice. She hadn't pulled rank. She simply refused to be moved, literally and figuratively. Months later, a new module was added to Skylift's Crew Training Academy. It was called Grace in Conflict, How to Serve Without Bias. A photo accompanied the lesson. It was a silhouette of a girl seated calmly by the window, her reflection steady in the glass. And below, in simple text, "Dignity doesn't shout. It simply sits where it belongs."